Check these eggplants out. They're just fresh from my plant. We just harvested them, and these eggplants are amazingly awesome. We harvested some when they are young, and some let them mature like this. We'll explain why we did this in the video. When you're growing eggplants, one thing you will confuse is which variety to grow. There are so many varieties to grow in eggplants that you will be done with planting only eggplants in your garden. So I'll explain about some varieties in this video. Growing eggplants is easy and rewarding. Where in this video we will see how to grow a ton of eggplants on very few plants. Well, let me tell you, if you have a small balcony where you don't have much space and you can only accommodate 2 to 3 plants, then grow 2 or 3 different varieties of plants in that small balcony. Why? I'll explain in the video. Tip number 1, varieties. Well, as I promised, I will tell you what will happen if you grow more varieties of eggplants rather than just a few. Well, different varieties of eggplants will have different properties. In my region, I personally believe that long eggplants will grow significantly better compared to the round eggplants like the black beauty or the green round eggplant. Well, that's just to my opinion in my region. There are a lot of areas in India or anywhere in the world that these long eggplants do not grow well, they fail, but the round eggplants will grow significantly better. And let me tell you, the round eggplants have a property that they do not get flower drop much compared to the long eggplant because they only produce a few flowers that will be enough for the plant to accommodate. If you are growing the black round eggplant, this particular plant will have significantly less flower drop and more flower forming to fruits because this plant only produces flowers in clusters of 1 or 2. As you can see here, only 1 flower comes in this particular variety, so the flower drop is very less, almost none. So that's great. Well, I already shown you 2 varieties, one being my long purple eggplant, second being my black eggplant, but this one here, it is a long eggplant. Now it's small because I harvested this thing small, but it can get up to 8 inches. Really, it can get. Good thing about this eggplant is it gets very light in weight. So even your plant bears a lot of eggplants, your plant will not break at all. That's why it's the most popular vegetable in India. We just eat this thing like nuts. You can see it's very tender. In fact, you can just eat this thing just like this. It will taste amazing, but I don't want to try because I'm not a huge fan of raw eggplants like maybe some other is. Alright, you knew that what will happen if you grow more varieties of eggplants. Well, let me put this thing aside. Tip number 2 will be seed sowing. Now, eggplant seeds are one of the most easy seeds to sow because they will just germinate no matter what you do. Sometimes what happens to my eggplants is they will just ripen off and fall down to the ground and new plants will come up there, and we'll already have enough eggplants because I have like 8 to 10 plants of each kind at the moment. So that's going to be enough for me, but these plants, they just keep coming up. I can't help that thing. And what I am thinking of doing is I am going to plant more varieties of eggplants in the future and make a video separately on each variety of eggplant. But let's talk about sowing the seeds. If you want to know everything about seed sowing, check out video of seed sowing, the link in the description. But most of our eggplants got self-healed in some other container which I am growing some other eggplant. So I transplanted this one eggplant into a better place where it can grow bigger and better and bear more eggplants. I believe this is a black eggplant because I know when eggplant leaves get little round, it's generally a black round eggplant, or else you just have to wait to find out which eggplant it is. Tip number 3, soil. Now the reason I kept soil at the 3rd place is because eggplant is very hardy. It's so easy to grow. Anyone can grow eggplants, even a beginner gardener. I'll make a video separately on what a beginner gardener should grow at the beginning, of course. Never mind. Eggplant is a very easy plant to grow, but if you can provide the plant with good soil, your plant will be able to produce more and more for that growing period. And these eggplants, I have been growing them in the same spot, not the same spot, in the same container for over 2 years, maybe like 22 months or something. But these plants have keep producing eggplants for me. Now I'm going to show you the harvest. I already harvested them, of course. The thing is, the soil makes everything. If your soil is good, your eggplants will continue to produce for up to 2 years after seed sowing. And if you are growing your eggplants in ground, keep in mind you can get harvest up to 4 amazing years. It's going to be awesome for you guys to get egg harvest for up to 4 years just after sowing seeds for once. Generally, the best soil ratio for any plant would be 50% soil to 50% manure or organic matter. We kept adding good things, organic fertilizers to the soil so it improve the soil over time. Tip number 4: pests and diseases. As you can see, here my eggplants got affected by mealybugs or scale. Now the best way to control pests on your eggplants will be to just trim off the whole branch. Now at this point you can either burn it or dispose it anywhere else safely. Do not throw this thing in your compost pile. That's the most mistake beginner gardeners do. They just throw the diseased part in the compost pile. That's going to spread the disease even more. Instead, the best thing you can do will be burning it. Now let me just tell you that pests can be a big problem for eggplant gardeners, and even farmers experience a lot of pests on their plants. That's completely fine. It is a price to pay because eggplants are so easy to grow that pests also like eggplants. I have a few things to mention that in rainy season or in the monsoon season, some of your eggplants will rot due to the rain. The fungus will form on the top surface of the eggplant and it will dwell into the eggplant itself. Never mind, if you grow it correctly, your plants will be healthy enough to tolerate everything and you will be okay because you will get a lot of eggplants that you won't mind losing a few. Okay, let me just show you a few things. Keep in mind those things. When eggplants get hit by a variety of pests. So, what to do that? We got hit by some pests which actually rotted our eggplants. So we had to harvest our eggplants earlier like this mini one where it could have grown big like this. This is a big eggplant. It can get up to like 8 inches. So it's quite big. But we also harvest this early. And earlier harvesting eggplants is better because they'll be tender anyways. But it's too early. At least we got to harvest this or we'll get pretty much nothing. Anyways, harvesting earlier is a great tip if you are thinking that you might get hit by bad pests when your plants are full on the productive stage. Harvest your eggplants early, which will also reveal the plants from the burden. If you ever notice any bad bugs like this, the best way to control them is not through pesticides but is through hand removal. Like I just hit this bug off the plant. This bug is no more and the plant will grow healthier from now. Control these pests when they are in small numbers. Another enemy for eggplants are caterpillars. These can be extremely devastating, so that you need to control them when they are still in small numbers as it is. This year we got a pest which completely destroyed some of our eggplants. As you can see here, it's fine. The round eggplant finds itself easier to set fruit compared to the long eggplant, because it has to produce more fruits that flowers compete with each other and some flowers drop due to the rubbing of plants or whatever. That does not happen in the round eggplant because the plant itself will produce less flowers significantly. So yes, less flower drop as well. Tip number 5, harvesting. But one second, I have something else to say. Before harvesting, tip number 4.5, pollination. Eggplants are self-fertile, they are self-pollinating just like tomatoes or chilies, whatever you call, some people call peppers, but whatever, they are self-pollinating. they pollinate due wind or any movement due rain or water, whatever will easily pollinate the eggplants. But remember that different varieties will be difficult or easier to set fruit. Like I told you that the round eggplant find itself easier. Tip number 5, harvesting. So I'm ready to harvest my eggplants with my basket and scissors. I don't know about you guys. Tip number 5, harvesting. I don't know about you guys, but I am very eager to harvest my eggplants, and I have my bowl and my scissors. So let's begin the harvesting. But one second. I already harvested these eggplants in the beginning of the video, but doesn't matter. Let's begin the harvesting. Remember to harvest your eggplants when they are still young, because as they mature, they'll get harder to chew on, which is not a good deal. And as you harvest, the plant will be encouraged to produce more eggplants significantly. One more thing, that if you harvest your plants early when they are small like this, they will be protected from pests. Also, keep pruning any diseased part of eggplant, which will also be like pruning the eggplant in real, like the scale here. You can easily remove it by cutting it, and also it will promote the eggplant to produce more eggplants or brinjal over the long time. So that's it from this video, guys. Hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. But before, check out my harvest anyways.